Junkie!
It's the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast, your source for anything and everything indie horror. Here's your host, Otis B. Dreads. All right, I am pumped up today, Amy.
Happy Wednesday. Time for another
Happy
show.
Wednesday. It is 8 o'clock. Do you know where your indie horror is? It is right here, the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast. Of course, that is not Rotting Ricky D over there. Amy, it is Asylum Amy. I love it.
It is tonight and
That
every
is-
other Wednesday.
And we're gonna have we got such a great show. I cannot express how long I've been waiting for this. Our guest, Cosmic Wave Films. I'm speaking of Nick and Angela are joining us from Cosmic Wave Films, and they had a piece, a little write-up in the Indie Horror Junkie magazine, maybe 2 issues ago, I believe. And as soon as I read that, I seen some little keywords in there. I was like, got to get these guys on, got to talk to them, and you're gonna find out why here in just a few minutes. Of course, take notice of all the links down there. That's where you can catch the Indie Horror Junkie podcast, which is what we're doing. You can catch over there the YouTube channel, which you'll see all that, and of course, Buzzsprout. You can help support our habits here. You can feed the need for indie horror. And don't forget, while I'm thinking, because I probably would forget, the new episode, issue 6, is the magazine is back on its regular schedule. So we have a new issue coming out November 13th. Is that right?
November 13th. It has a beautiful Diana Durango on the cover of it. We've got some great artists to feature on the inside, everybody from filmmakers to artists that are in conventions that are out there vendoring all across the country, music, your indie horror hotties, of course. So a little bit of fun for everybody.
Awesome. And let's see, what else do we got down there? And of course, the email. If you are a filmmaker, a indie horror artist of any kind, you could be. I think we got a comic book guy coming up here soon. I mean, just all different kinds. If you are one of them and want to get on the show, want to get in the magazine, because it is quickly becoming your go-to, your one-stop shop for indie horror. I mean, we got our finger on the pulse, Amy. That's just how we do here.
Yeah,
And,
we're already working into February and March with the magazine and with podcast guests. So the word is getting out and people are excited, and we love that. We want to feed the need. We want to give everybody a platform to show their work, whatever it might be in the indie horror realm. So, we're not putting anything or anybody in a box. If you have a project that you want to share, then hit us up at indiehorrorjunkie@gmail.com. Hit us up on our socials and let's chat.
That's right. And, we're all busy. So, you may have to be a little patient, with a response, just to throw that out there. House of Dolls Midnight Horror Show is joining us. How are you?
It's our good friend Mardigan, and he's actually worked with Angela and Nick at Cosmic Wave Films. I've worked with him as well. He's a great actor in the Central Florida area, and
awesome.
we'll talk about that a little bit more here soon.
Yeah. I got I got a little something that I wanted to throw out here real quick. I do a little morning show, just a goofy little morning show every Wednesday, and it's called Mornings with the Dread. Morning spelled like your morning, little play on words, and um, just to kind of start your day off with a little laugh, me and Mrs. Dreads, we just go through goofy articles, maybe talk horror, who knows? But the goal is to have a laugh. And I got these nifty little. Look at these coasters here.
That is
That
nice.
is Slate. That's the logo there. Pretty awesome. I told my the guy who made these is actually
Is that one of Sean Smithson designs?
yes, it
Yeah.
is. I was
He's
just getting ready
crazy
to throw that
talented.
up there.
Actually, we gotta get him on here or get in the
Yes,
magazine and highlight his work. He's an amazing craftsman.
amazing. This is all laser engraved.
Yeah, he can
So
do just about anything.
really fine. I have these. If anybody needs some of these, there's 6 in a set for $50. That's when you look at the craftsmanship, that's pretty good. So there's my shameless plug, and uh, there's his Facebook that you can get a hold of him, or you can DM me. It doesn't really matter. We'll get you some. So let's jump right into this. I think we got everything out of the way that we need to.
Yeah, let's bring out the Cosmic Wave Films people. I'm excited to chat.
I am excited to chat, and before we do that, we have a little trailer called Panic Attack Blood Pub, which, well, you had a little cameo in that as well. Maybe we'll talk about that. Here's the trailer, and then we're coming back with Nick and Angela from Cosmic Wave Film.
You two were the only survivors of the Halloween party massacre.
I saw you on the news!
If that were me, I don't think I'd ever leave the house again.
For the record, I thought going to a bar wasn't a great idea.
Lucy. Is this any way to treat an old friend?
But they said they were ready, and I wanted to split them.
You don't look like any friend of mine, Ryan Shitcrest.
Last time I was in a different skin suit until somebody bashed its brains in with a baseball bat. Maggie!
SBN
What's that?
It's a grounding technique. Stands for stop, breathe, notice, reassess, and respond.
Brings you back to reality and keeps you from spiraling.
Do you have any grounding techniques?
Yeah, actually, I use dance movement therapy.
Is that exactly what it sounds like?
Yep. Regulate the amygdala, baby.
What is that?
Mother!
Have you ever thought, I don't know, maybe you're cursed?
Technically, this is only the second time this has happened to us, and I think a curse is 3 times, right?
3 times. Okay.
It never gets old. I love watching it every time.
It is that is so funny to me. That looks like a very enjoyable one. Nick, Angela, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight, man. I've been waiting for this for a while. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely, you guys.
It's going to be fun. Let's get some a little bit of promotions. You did pretty much my homework for me. You sent me a little packet, and we have let me actually switch over because I have your links up here, some links there we go. cosmicwavefilms.com, spookyempire.com. There you go. I can't even think of what that acronym, the national. I always forget, but there's a reason that those are up there. You'll soon find out. You speaking of Spooky Empire, Blood Pub. Here we go already. Blood Pub is going to be playing at the Spooky Empire Film Festival actually here in a couple days. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it is going to be playing as part of the Florida Fear block, and that block is actually going to be playing twice. So on Friday, opening up the festival at 3 p.m., or I guess, yeah, the film festival. And then on Sunday at 11 a.m.
And I will be there Sunday at 11.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep, I'm rolling out Saturday night after Rick's Film Festival. I'll get there about midnight, checking in, wake up bright and early. Don't want to miss it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're really excited for it. It's like it's one of the first festivals we've done where I think like it'll be a chance for us to really kind of find our audience and kind of find, kind of find our people. I think that's the thing that's most exciting about the whole thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, and there's a big, there's a big niche out there for people like you guys.
Oh yeah. And what a better weekend to be at Spooky. It's going to be their 20th anniversary. It's going to be huge. So there's going to be plenty of people there to talk to and have at the film festival. So we're going to round them up, but it's going to be an incredible weekend. I'm so excited for you guys.
Thank you.
Go ahead. We're excited to see you on screen because we got, I won't spoil it for people, but you're great in the film. You get a really great scene.
Well,
my first VFX scene I've ever done.
That's thanks to you and your incredible VFX, which is so exciting because, you guys know this. I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan since the start. I love you as just beautiful humans. I love you as artists, but I love your work, your work ethic, and the message behind your films. And it's something different and unique. And I'll let you guys get into that. But I've always been a huge fan. So it's always a pleasure for me when you guys reach out because I'll help you do anything.
We know this
Yeah.
because that is 100% true. You are such a wonderfully helpful person and one of the kindest and most giving people who we've had a chance to work with. So it's always a pleasure to get to talk to you.
Likewise, you guys. We're indie horror family. This is what we do. We have each other's backs.
Absolutely. And I echo what Nick said, but oh my gosh, like so much love to you because you helped us out, I think, in every film we've done since we met you. And can I tell the story of how we met?
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah.
So it was for the original Panic Attack because the one that's going to be in Spooky Empire is the sequel, Blood Pub. But the original one, it was the second film Nick and I had ever made. Mm-hmm. And we knew we wanted to make a horror. And I had this crazy idea about there was going to be like the dancing dead and like they were going to be like zombies who were reanimated by the monster. And Amy was like, I got you. I'm in on it. And then she came up with this beautiful choreography. And I was like, Amy, you're too sexy. But like I didn't. But like I couldn't. So when we do the feature, I want to revisit it.
Okay, you got it. Whatever you need. I'll do whatever you need, whatever you want, whatever direction you're going in. Just throw me in there and tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
Amazing.
And we apologize in advance. We have a dog. We have dogs in the house right now.
They're welcome here with us.
Yeah, they're fighting for attention.
No worries. I got a pug. I got to lock out of the room because he will definitely any little noise you'll hear that in the background. But he's out there hanging out with the wife. It is perfectly fine. We love dogs here. Dogs like indie horror. Excuse me.
Do you love this one? She's really loud.
Okay.
She's
totally fine.
She's one of those old dogs where like you can't really do anything.
Yeah, she's gonna be 17 years old, and she kind of runs our lives really with an iron paw.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
No, it's totally fine. This
you
is
guys,
a show. We are hanging out.
Yeah, you guys. If correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys started out doing a little cooking show or something on YouTube that kind of catapulted the film making. Is that right?
Yeah, we started out doing kind of a YouTube cooking show, like you said. It was a chance to kind of for us, because one of the things that we really love to do outside of making films is cook. My family used to own a restaurant back in Philly in like the 80s, and it's one of those things that kind of stuck with me. Big Italian family, so we got into this this cooking channel on YouTube. Part of it was because food is a great way to preserve memory. I think like it's one of those things where it's also a way that we communicate culture, and it just is kind of a natural
love language
storytelling device too. And that's why you'll notice that there is always a food item in our films. All 5 of our films have had food kind of, playing a part. So yeah, we always kind of keep that as part of our point of view.
And wasn't your first short film that you guys did Fish Sticks?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
I read that. Yeah, I mean, fish sticks. That's funny.
It was funny.
Thank you.
So you guys got into filmmaking not long. That kind of was like, maybe we can do something a little more outside of the cooking. And this is where it really gets interesting for me anyway. You decided to take and make horror films, which we just seen the trailer for, but it has kind of a mental health overtone to it, to where and I believe you guys are trying to break down the stigma around mental health using horror films to take and spread that message. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think one of the things for us is that mental health has always been kind of a big thing for us. I think the stigmatization of mental health is something that just needs to kind of be disassembled, and one way that we can do that is through art. And I think that it's going to sound bad, but I think we can all agree to some level that the horror genre has not always been great about depictions of mental health. Oftentimes assigning mental health crises to people that are harmful, right? I mean, there's literally one of the great horror films of all time is literally called Psycho. Or look at a film like Split and look at the way dissociative identity disorder is portrayed in films. There are a lot of people that carry around different mental illnesses in terms of whether it's DID or whether it's schizophrenia, but those people aren't out there hurting anybody. And I think that it's nice to kind of twist the perspective a little bit and apply some of those different mental health aspects to our lead characters, or the characters that we root for.
Nice. Yeah, I when reading through the article that was put out a few issues ago in Indie Horror Junkie, I seen, CBT. I mean, give us a little, and then that was like, for those who don't know cognitive behavioral therapy, and then I was like, wow, wait a minute, horror, mental health, what is going on here? and in a more positive light, not like what you were talking about, Nick, where they kind of play on the stigma and anybody with mental health issues, and that's is bad or whatnot, is the villain, and not so much portrayed in Panic Attack. Can you give us a little rundown on a little synopsis of what Panic Attack is and how it relates to, I mean, we talking anxiety, what are we talking here? I mean, obviously with a name like Panic Attack.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so glad you saw that CBT, that reference to CBT, and it spoke to you. That makes me really happy. So basically, Panic Attack is a story about our main character, Maggie, and her best friend Lucy. And Maggie has anxiety. She struggles with anxiety, and especially social anxiety. And so she has to deal with this internal conflict of being somebody out in the world, having this internal struggle, while also dealing with a very real struggle of a monster is coming to kill her. In the first Panic Attack, it was Maggie was the one struggling and Lucy was just there to be supportive. And in the second one, we realized that we had these two amazing actresses, Holland Watkins, who plays Maggie, and Megan Borges, who plays Lucy. And they're so talented that we wanted to give them both something to work with. And so in the second one, we wrote it so that Lucy is also struggling because it takes place a year after the original events and she's got some PTSD. And so one of the, what would you call it for the grounding techniques? One of the plot devices that we use is what's called grounding techniques, which comes out of cognitive behavioral therapy. I myself, I've struggled with anxiety and depression for most of my life. I've done CBT, so that really informs how we write it. The exercises that the characters do in the films are exercises that I've had to learn and apply in my own life, and it's kind of great because people who've seen the films, they'll come up to us and they'll be like, oh my god, like I've tried that and it actually calmed me down. Like one of the exercises that we have is 5 4 3 2 1, where it reminds you of your surroundings and it brings you into the present as you do a countdown of like, okay, 5 things I can see, 4 things I can feel.
Right. I was actually just getting ready to mention that, because that was actually something that was suggested to me in the past.
Oh, wow.
As a technique to use when that gets too high, and that is portrayed in Panic Attack.
Yeah.
It also, the 5 4 3 2 1 also has the added benefit of being a countdown, and countdowns in film are always great. So
right.
It has a great storytelling. It's a great storytelling device too.
Yeah.
So it was just really important to us. We knew we wanted to write a horror story, and we kept circling back to this idea of this internal struggle while also having this external struggle at the same time, because that's really what every one of us goes through, right? Like you might be struggling with a clinically diagnosed disorder, or you might just, be having a run of bad days. But each of us has this battle that we carry with us, and we're expected to put on the mask and also fight this battle while fighting whatever comes at us that day. Like maybe all red lights, or our boss is treating us crappy, or our kids, I don't know, I don't have kids, but they don't like what we cook for dinner.
They do it. Yeah.
I never do.
Yeah.
And well, another thing about that too is in the first Panic Attack film, the very first scene is when Maggie is going through kind of a panic attack in the bathroom at a Halloween party. And that was kind of where the whole idea started. It was like that was the first page of our script, and it never changed. And when we write a film, we'll do 15, 20, 30 different drafts of it before we land on something that we like. And that always stayed the same. That first page was always the same, because there was just something compelling about a person that has to kind of ground themselves in order to do something very simple, like engage with their friends at a party, and there was just something that I think a lot of people could relate to about it. And it was just one of those things that never changed, because everything kind of got filtered through that. Like so much of that character got identified on that first page, and Holland just crushes it. So
Let's switch gears just ever so slightly. It'll always probably come back to the mental health, but I want to know about, because I'm really curious. There's a project that I'm gonna get hopefully my first acting role with, called Hellvirus Haunted Asylum of Horror. They're starting a new campaign November 1st. And I see from doing the show, from talking to people on Facebook, that it's pretty hard to get these projects, funded. Unless you got a big bankroll, that can be a really big issue. Tell us, can you tell us your story on, the route that you went getting a film published? We're just everyday people. How does that happen?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Did you guys go the crowdfunding route, or was it? Yeah. How did that work for you?
Yeah, so you always definitely have to have a good kind of crowdfunding game, but you also can't rely on that as your sole, your sole means of financing your film. So you're going to need to have a little bit of savings on your own that you're going to want to be able to put behind it. And then kind of like I think we've really evolved as producers in a way to where there are certain things that we did on our first 2 films that we would never do again.
Sure, learning experience.
Yeah, in terms of how you negotiate with your crew too. Instead of saying what is your rate, say this is the budget and this is what we have. Do you accept or not? So there's little things like that. We also learn to write with a producer's mindset. Where you write this thing and you're like, okay, there's a party that they're going to go to. They're going to be driven there because it's a wealthy person. They're going to be driven in hearses. And we're like, okay, where are we going to get the hearses? Where are we going to get this? Where are we going to get that? Yeah. So we also kind of write to the budget a little bit too, because we are kind of doing that kind of run and gun style a little bit too. So there's a lot of different means to go about doing it. I just happen to have as a partner the best producer who I have ever known in Angela, because she is a machine as a producer. She's phenomenal. So what did I miss?
Sorry, I laughed.
I love that you guys, sorry to interrupt, that you dove in and you really took on not just writing and directing, you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can personally relate to that. And it's a big bite to chew, but you guys do it. And you're right. You learn with each project. This worked, that didn't. What is my budget? How can I write within the locations I have access to? So everything you're saying makes so much sense to me. And I'm just so proud of you guys. Like every film that you make, I just see all this growth. And I have to say something about them. They do not mess around when it comes to pre-production, production, and post-production. What I love about you guys is you take the time in pre-production. When you show up on set, it is such a well-oiled machine. Everybody has a job and they're doing it. And then you don't just make the film and be like, okay, I made a film. You guys put it in festivals. You put it out there. You're sharing it. And you're sharing those parts of you. And I just can't wait to see what you do next. I know I'm going off subject, but I'm over here like so proud because I know where you started and everything you've done. And it's just so cool to watch. And I agree. Angela's amazing. And Nick, you're an incredible director.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. I laughed when you said that because Amy, I know that you're a very accomplished producer, and like I'm always like, okay, but what would Amy do?
I was gonna say it's a what would Amy
I usually
do?
just make it up. It's
Yeah,
all
that's-
trial and error. You do what you think works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. And
yeah.
you learn and you go and you grow. And that's all that you can do. We don't know everything. Trust me. You problem solve along the way. But you guys have a great team, and that makes such a big difference.
Thank you. Yeah, and speaking of our team, like that's one of the reasons why we do want to put our films into festivals, is because one thing that breaks my heart personally is all this hard work, all these people come together and they make this tiny miracle of a film, and then nothing happens with it.
Right.
Like it's
Exactly.
okay if you don't get like a distribution deal or a streaming deal or whatever, but don't let it die. Like
Right.
put it in festivals, let it find its audience, like put it on YouTube. Just keep promoting the work of the people that showed up for you. You know what I mean?
And people will find it too.
Yes.
People will find, especially the horror community, where they will go to great lengths to find their people, to find the storytellers that they like. And I think that's the other great thing about it. So like when we're selecting festivals, we want to make sure that they are actual real festivals that sell real tickets to real people who go and show up. And sometimes that, that takes us to interesting places. And there's a few that we have our eyes on that hopefully will pan out. But the other thing too that I just wanted to mention in terms of because Otis, you asked about the kind of like original funding and stuff like that, and some of the production pieces of it. One of the great things that we had happen on Blood Pub was just we had people stepping up who cared so much about the story and cared so much about the project that they just offered so much more. I mean, that trailer has music in it from Universal Funk Orchestra, and the whole final fight scene has music from Universal Funk Orchestra. And we would not have had that connection without Megan Borkus, who plays Lucy in our film. And she's the one who suggested it. And I was like, well, let's just go ask the band. And they gave us the okay. Holland Watkins, who plays Maggie, she worked on the stunt choreography for her fight scene with Sean Reimer, and they did a fantastic job. We also had Randy Wentworth, who's a local professional wrestler, who helped out with that. And then Graham Zielinski also, he was helping us with location, helping us with pretty much everything. So we brought those three on and had them on as producers as well. So it's so much more than just getting the money together, even though that is like, the two most important things are time and money, and the money just buys you more time. But it's also people that have a little bit of passion, that are willing to kind of go one step further in kind of making the thing even better than you could have hoped it would be.
Right. No, absolutely. Having that well-oiled machine, I mean, that makes all the difference in the world. I mean, sometimes you got to be a hard ass. Are you a hard ass, Angela?
Do I look like a hard ass?
Kind of.
She gets the job done, I can tell you that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, you don't have to be. Is that what you're saying? You don't have to be a hard ass, because the people are just doing it. Like you said, Nick, they're there because they're passionate, and that is something that's like the common thread in every one of these episodes is passion. And you see more passion in the indie horror filmmaking, and I guess even outside of just strictly the horror genre, I guess in independent filmmaking period, but we're we're more the horror type.
Yeah.
You'll see different groups of people always working together, especially like through the not just indie. You see it in major studio feature films as well. Actors and producers bringing the same people in, because when you find your people that you know that will show up, that you can trust, they're going to bring something special not only to the project but from within themselves. And once you find those little golden nuggets of people, like, you don't want to let them go. You just want to keep bringing them back in and build and build and build, because all ships rise with the tides. And that's what you guys are doing. I have a tendency to work a lot with the same people, because that trust and that work ethic keeps everybody grounded and focused on the same goal, and it makes all the difference in the world.
100%.
Absolutely.
Another thing for us too is we are very firm believers in having a very positive set culture. Man, I cannot tell you the number of actors or people that are part of crews that have nightmarish stories about either a director or a producer who is just not very kind to them, or toxic sets, toxic set environments that I've heard about too. So we made that like a very big thing. So part of when we are, when we're crewing up to shoot something, that set culture is one of the things that we take into consideration. Like there's that whole thing. There's like a great book called Producer to Producer. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not, but it's a great book. And they talk about how sometimes you want to hire somebody because of the gear that they have. But what if the person's a jerk? If the person's a jerk and they have the gear, fine, but wouldn't it be better to hire somebody who is kind and treats people well on set and just rent the gear? Like it's those kind of decisions, I think, that we try to really focus on.
Yeah, and building off of that, I wasn't trying to be a jerk or anything. I might look sweet, but yes, to answer your question, I am a hard ass on set. Like
you gotta be.
You have to be, absolutely, especially if you're trying to A, get shit done, but B, maintain that set culture. Like it's very important to me that everyone feels respected, everyone feels valued, and everyone's voice gets heard at the appropriate time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And we've been so lucky to work with awesome people, but if anybody threatens that set culture or anything like that, I will be like, bro, like this is not okay.
And conflict does happen. Like it does happen. People are working a lot of hours and a lot of times for not as much money as they would like to be working for. And so naturally on those long days, things will happen. But we just, we work as hard as we can to keep that environment as positive as possible.
Can I ask a question? Am I allowed to?
You absolutely can.
Whatever you want. It's your show.
So Amy, I want to address this question to you, because as a female producer, like I feel like we have our work cut out for us a little bit more in being taken seriously on set. And like, I kind of ducked away from Otis asking that question about, are you a hard ass? Because I was like, no, don't label the woman a hard ass. But like, yeah, I can be. And actually I'm kind of proud of it. So like, what are your thoughts on all that?
I think it just comes down to being comfortable with who you are and the knowledge that you own, and you know what you bring to that set, and it's okay to bring it to the set because you know your value, you know how hard you worked to be there, you know everything you did in pre-production to get everybody there, to keep everybody on time, to keep things flowing. So you do what you have to do, not only to take care of yourself, to stay focused, to stay on time, to get it done. And I think when you're working with the right people, nobody's going to look over and be like, who's this bitch? I think they're just going to see somebody getting it done, and that's to be respected. And I don't see anything wrong with it.
This is why I say, what would Amy do? I love it.
There you go.
Show up, do your job. You got a penis or vagina, who cares? The job got done. You don't like it, there's the door,
Right?
I know Angela well enough. Like, you're only a hard ass if you need to be. You're only a hard ass if you need to get back in line. But otherwise, it's when you're producing, there's so much going on.
Yes.
I mean, it's admin. You're keeping track of everything. Plus, you're, making sure you're checking with scripty, you're checking with the director, you're, checking with the DP. You're responsible for everything. It's no joke. It's a huge job, and it takes a hard ass to do it. So it's not for the weak. So be proud of it, own it, keep doing it. Yeah.
There you go. Rock on, girl power.
Absolutely.
I want to take a second to go over here to the chat. While Bill has joined us, Doug says passion, drive, and
Doug's a producer. He
networking.
knows, and he's worked with me on several projects. So
Nice.
Brenna, who is
Brenna, hi.
over there at the
Indie
magazine.
Horror Junkie magazine.
Yeah. I skipped one. Speaking of the coasters, there's Smithson Creations. He made it. Doug says again, and Amy is the epitome of everything you want to be able to work with. There you go.
Thank you for that. And likewise, that's why I work with you, Doug, because we're hustlers and we're focused, and you just gotta put out what you want to bring back to you. So that's what we're out here doing. We're working, we're following our passions, we're telling stories, and it's a lot of work. So you just got to get it done if you're going to do it. And it doesn't stop once you have that martini shot. It just keeps going with the film festivals and the marketing and the promotions and planning the next one.
Right.
If you don't love it, stop now. That's what's going to make the difference. You got to love it. You got to be passionate about it. And if you're passionate about it, it shows.
Yeah.
Absolutely. While Bill says sometimes you got to do what you got to do, hard ass or not. You got to get things done, and sometimes you have to do that. Brenna said, very well said. I'm assuming what you said, Amy.
That's awesome.
I'm going to assume.
I just feel lucky to be here with all of you. I think everybody here is focused and driven and knows what they want, and they go for it. So kudos to everybody on this screen and everybody watching.
Yeah, and I love what you guys are putting together with Indie Horror Junkie. I think it's really cool. It's a great time for it too. I feel like there's this kind of explosion of really cool indie horror that's happening, and and it's just really exciting. It's an exciting time.
Community is so important.
Yeah.
And just helping each other and promoting each other. And thank you for saying that, because that's why we have Indie Horror Junkie, is to give everybody a platform to showcase their work, because everybody is working so hard and there's so many different ways to get it out there, and someone might see this show and reach out to you and get you to that next level. You just never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Connect you with other artists in your area and all across the country.
Right. Actually, Doug said earlier that he's now following you guys on Instagram.
Cool.
Yeah.
It happens quick. You got to buckle up here.
Yeah, I connected with Doug probably 2 years ago, and he lives up in Jersey, and he just flew down he was a co-producer on one of the films I just did. So we work, we network. You just never know who you're going to meet. That's what I love about the horror community.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a scare actor friend of mine. It comes up Facebook user over there because of my StreamYard, but that is Chaos Unright. He's a scare actor down there in Texas. That's an interesting thing to do. I kind of always wanted to do that. Speaking of acting, has either one of you wanted to be in front of the camera? You're producing, Angela. You're directing.
What'd you say, Amy?
Angela.
Yes. I actually have a background in stand-up. And
Really?
That's what got me into writing to begin with. Yeah. But I had horrible stage fright. So
It's hard. I did an amateur night one time. And, I'm asking for him to flash that 2-minute light about 2 minutes in of a 4-minute set. I don't know how people do it, but so you do have that kind of you don't care to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, actually I don't. I actually took some acting classes earlier this year because as a director, I wanted to be able to speak the language of the actors. And it was so helpful. I took them at Class Act in Orlando, and I loved it. Like I have so much admiration for actors. And that reminds me, like, you hear so many directors that are like, I beat it out of them. I beat this best performance out of them. And like Stanley Kubrick and what's her name? Shelley.
Oh, Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall. Like, what's up with that? Anyways, I'm rambling. Respect for actors. Acting is fun, but I don't think I would ever act in any of our films because we just have such an amazing pool of actors. I want to trust them to do that.
No, well, there you go. Yeah. I mean, so, yeah, I guess that would kind of be kind of hard to, run the show or run an aspect of the show and then be in front of the camera and give like 100%.
Yeah, I
kind of
can't imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine the actors like Orson Welles and Citizen Kane were directing it and starring in it. I don't even understand how you direct yourself.
I would just be yelling "cut" all the time. Like, I don't.
Is that Doc or do?
Hey, Doc.
Oh, okay. And did the same thing as Angela. Took acting classes to understand actors more as a filmmaker.
So,
It makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like, football coaches taking and planning out for, next week's game.
yeah.
Or whatever. A layman's analogy, I guess.
I just wanted to shout out Doc real quick. He's in Panic Attack. He's one of the bartenders, one of the main characters.
Okay.
And he's also a filmmaker in his own right, and he's hilarious and a rapper. So
Lovely person too.
Yeah, love it.
Awesome. Well, we got the whole gang here.
I know.
Yeah, Holland was on earlier, so we've got a great crew tonight. I have a question for you guys. So you've done Panic Attack, you've done the follow with Panic Attack Pub Blood. I know you guys are going to be. Did I say that wrong?
It's okay.
It's okay. It's a weird. It's not a tongue twister, but it kind of is.
It is. Me and Otis are struggling tonight. So, what are your plans moving forward? You guys have plans. What does that look like? Are we allowed to discuss that yet? If not,
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure. So, one of the things that we really want to do is jumpstart Panic Attack as a feature. That's the big goal. That's what we want to do. And I think we've been kind of working on breaking that story, how we expand it out, taking elements of the two films that we've made and kind of drawing upon those things into a feature. I think that's the number one goal right now. We've been kicking around a few other ideas for some other short work that we are interested in doing as well. But our eyes are on the Panic Attack prize as far as getting that out there, because it's one of those things it's just one of those things that we really believe in. We believe in the characters, we believe in the story, and it's just one of those things we really want to share with people. We understand kind of also where we are as filmmakers, and we are still learning. And I think to some degree, I think all artists are. I think they're always kind of in that learning process.
Oh, yeah.
And, if you think you've stopped learning, then you're probably just going to be running in place for a while. So
you go stagnant. Yeah. You got to learn something new every day. You keep that brain a clicking.
Yeah. And so, and on Blood Pub, I learned how to do VFX. I spent 6 hours doing a 3-second shot of Amy.
But it looks so good.
Thank you.
Oh, speaking of that 3 seconds, here, check this out. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Man, I keep double clicking it. Hold on.
Oh, I got to make all kinds of fun noises on set.
Yeah, we were like, more gurgles.
Wetter.
Like they're giving me the microphone. I'm like, what else do you need? No, it's fun. I love doing all that crazy stuff. And I love working with Mardigan and Graham, the DP. He was wonderful during that. So like I said, you guys have a great group, and the set is always so much fun.
Mardigan
I think. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I think a full feature that would be awesome. A Panic Attack. I think you've done really well at taking and really kind of putting the story out there, grabbing people's attention. With a short. Was that something that you plan to do shorts to kind of build your niche, where you're going, and then go to a feature? There's some people some young filmmakers, like to go right to a feature. To me, it seems like if you're new to it, you'd want to go the route of maybe a short, just so the expense is so much lower. It'd be easier I would think, to take and get started versus a feature.
Definitely. I know there are some people that just want to make shorts forever, and that's awesome. And then there are other people that, do make shorts to go ahead and do the feature. I think we started in shorts just to see if we could do it, just to see if we had what it takes to create a good script and put the crew together come up with a really good product towards the end. We wrote the original Panic Attack knowing that we wanted to make a feature and hoping that it could serve as a proof of concept for the feature.
Yeah, and then we did Blood Pub because we wanted to just see that we could take the next step. Yeah, and I think that for us, getting into shorts was really, it was really to see like what could be done. I had actually done 2 shorts and a documentary back in like 2004. And so it is a much different landscape now.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's just all so much more possible now. What you can do, all of the different avenues of distribution, like Angela was saying, even just on YouTube, where you can get traction and followers and get eyes on your work. It's just all so much more possible now than it was, 15, 16, 17, however old I am back in, all that time.
What time is it?
Right, yeah. So it, a lot of it was just to see what was possible, how good we could make something look. And then it was like, oh, this kind of feels like what we want to do all the time.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned, distributing your projects out, via your social media, your YouTubes. Are you going to put these on hard copy? How are you approaching distribution of your work? Are you just using the platforms such as, your YouTubes and things of that nature, on, streaming services, things of that nature? Basically what I'm saying, very long-winded. Where can people watch Panic Attack, and where would they be able to watch anything that you got going on?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've been so focused on making the thing that we haven't really put much effort into how are we going to make money off the thing. So one place that people can find us is film festivals. Another place is right now our films are hosted on Vimeo, but we are looking at maybe moving over to, or we're exploring various streaming services. I know that you've got Tubi and Shudder and.
Yeah, you guys check out Bloody Bites. Bloody Bites is an extension of Bloody Disgusting, which is, you guys are familiar with that.
Yes.
And they are a streaming platform that streams horror short films.
I love Bloody Bites. They have some
Bloody
of
Bites.
the.
Yeah, you guys got to check it out for sure.
Yeah,
that's
for
perfect for it. That's such a niche for what you guys have going on, because you have
Absolutely.
those 2 short films, and to have 2 that are connected, that's a huge pitch right there. So
Yeah.
I'd be hitting them up. And I definitely think that you guys have done it the right way by doing the short film for concepts. It's brilliant that you have 2, because you can use those to build the audience to really connect with your messages and what you're doing, and you're not rushing anything. So many people want to make the movie and then go on to the next thing. No, like, you guys are taking care of it. This is your baby. This is something that you're proud of, and you should be, because it's incredible. So I love that you guys are taking your time with it, and it's the perfect way to launch a bigger crowdfunding campaign to fund that feature. So I think you're doing everything working very smart.
Thank you. One thing that I do want to kind of give a shout out to, one of the festivals that we got into that I think always is really nice to kind of talk about with this conversation is the Horrific Hope Film Festival. The first Panic Attack film was screened at the Horrific Hope Film Festival, and then I think it traveled with them a little bit because they kind of brought that show they brought that festival regionally. But that is a film festival that is dedicated to films that promote aspects of mental health. They do a lot of work in mental health awareness and suicide prevention. So we were very honored to be selected for that film festival. Hopefully they will take Blood Pub next time around. So that way they have
you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you. But I love that festival exists, and I think that's another. If there's one bit of advice I'd give to filmmakers is vet your film festivals carefully. Make sure they are events that you'd be proud to have your film distributed in. I think sometimes we get into some filmmakers get into the mindset of just spamming their film out to every festival in the world, but really, I think being mindful about where you want your art to be seen, I think is a really important thing. So we're very happy to have gotten to work with the Horrific Hope Film Festival.
Yeah, and so just to piggyback off that, Horrific Hope is run by a nonprofit called Victims and Villains, and they do a bunch of events. They're based out of Richmond, Virginia, and the Horrific Hope Festival last year and this upcoming year is going to be at the Alamo Draft House in Winchester, Virginia. But they do a lot of great work. Again, it's Victims and Villains, and they're on Instagram. They do a lot of great work to destigmatize mental health, and throughout the horror genre. But I think the thing that I keep hearing and that I want to just like mention real quick is that I can't understate the importance of like relationships and taking care of your people, and like when you find good people, hold on to them and like take care of them. And I just feel like every question that you've asked us has come down to we've just been lucky enough to meet people who believe in what we're doing and who kind of operate on the same length that we do, and we all just kind of help each other. And like Amy, like you just said with yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, never never downplay the role that sometimes luck and good fortune play in your success.
Yeah. But also don't
I noticed I was and to piggyback off of that, Angela, I mentioned to my wife earlier that I think a part of my, getting sober and whatnot, I owe a lot to the indie horror community. Really? I owe a lot to this podcast, to Rick, to Amy. They may not see that they've done anything, but what they've given me is a chance to prove myself as a host. What other people in the indie horror community has given me is a chance to do little voiceovers for them, like Hellvira on the Run, a short. And then, as I mentioned, the acting guy, I got a stoner named Dave. That shouldn't be hard to pull off. And, I've been given these chances, and it's been a really, really a breath of fresh air. And so, this horror and being involved in this community it's been the most successful therapy that I've had in a while.
I think the most beautiful thing about the horror community is there's so many different walks of life that come together.
Yeah.
And we're all a bunch of weirdos and we know it, but it's like you found your home, like there's no, I don't know how to say it. It's just like everybody's welcomed and it's like everybody is actually rooting for the same thing. They want another kick-ass horror movie to watch.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether it's weird or it's awesome or it's gory or it's psychological or it's got an incredible message like you guys have with Panic Attack. They just want to see the next thing and they get so into it and they get behind you. It's like you have this team of people and you don't even know who they are, but they find you and then you find them. And we all have this common ground. I can't say enough about the horror community. And I know what you're saying, Otis. I've met some of the greatest people of my life in the horror community. And I've built this family of people around it. And now we're all just growing and building together. And it's been the absolute coolest experience. And you guys, like you're saying, Otis, you guys are all a part of that. So we have each other.
And that's the dream, right? Like that's the dream of the artist or the storytellers, to be able to do something that brings people together or changes a person's life. And I think that is that's the reason we engage with any kind of art. Like it's why I love giving books as gifts to people, because the right story can change a person's life. Like we, from our earliest beginnings as children, we are introduced to the world around us through stories. For whether they are the fairy tales that we are told when we are children, like it's how we come to understand the world. So stories exist with us throughout our lives, and the right story can just sometimes light a switch and just change us. And I think that's a really wonderful gift.
Yeah, and that's another cool thing that's like awesome about the horror genre is that it doesn't, like, you can watch something and it doesn't have to be good from a technical aspect, doesn't have to be good from a dialogue aspect, doesn't have to be like the best thing you've seen, but it's also the best thing you've seen. You know what I mean? Like, what other genre does that? Like,
and there's so many little sub genres that you can just tuck your film into, and people get it and they love it.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you get to tell your story while you're doing it. So
Yeah. Now, Cynthia asked again, where do I find Panic Attack? And that would be over there, Vimeo, right?
Yes. I totally missed it when you were asking me that question earlier. You were asking how people can find it, and I was like,
well,
nowhere.
you had mentioned Vimeo, and you're fine.
That's how good it is.
You can put the link in the chat when we're done.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for asking. We'll make sure to make that public.
Totally.
Head over to our website, cosmicwavefilms.com. That'll be another way that you can watch it.
Oh, there you go. There's a link that's been scrolling the whole time. There you go.
And what about your socials, you guys? Where can everybody find you, connect with you, follow your journey?
Yeah, we're on Instagram at Cosmic Wave Films. Email us, cosmicwavefilms@gmail.com. Basically, just type in Cosmic Wave Films and you'll find us.
Everywhere.
Yeah, hop on socials, follow these guys, follow what they're doing. They put a lot of content out with their work, and you want to keep your eye on these people. I'm telling you, they're doing something cool out here.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We're trying.
And you're doing a great job. And for me, I know a lot of people that I meet, struggle with these different issues that you address in your Panic Attack movies. Hence the name. A lot of my friends, deal with a lot of anxiety. That just seems to be a common thread in society today. And I fucking applaud you for bringing light to the stigma that does need to be erased, and we need to look at this. And I think a mental health reform is in way overdue. But I guess that's for another podcast. But I love what you're doing, bringing light to that very deep personal subject for me and for probably a lot of us through your art. And I appreciate your art and what you guys do. So
I gotta say one more thing, and I know people are going to go watch on Vimeo, but one of the coolest things I love about your movies is the way that you give the main characters the opportunity within the story to take back, like to own it and take that power and own it and to empower them. And you guys will see it when you watch it, but it's the coolest thing to watch. It's like, no, I am calling back my power to me. I am handling this. I can do this. And it's just such a cool message. And I love that with the main characters. You guys nailed it. You guys got to watch it. We're going to put it in the comments. Just watch it tonight. Trust me.
Thank
It
you.
is so cool. The cinematography, the coloring, the music, the score, the actors, the set design on your films are insane. You guys have won awards for set design, right? You guys have won awards for a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we a lot of it is working with great people and having a good vision in mind. And and also I think one of the things that really helps us is we try to have a mentality of the best idea wins.
Yeah.
So, there are times where if there is a shot that our DP wants and he's like passionate about it, we're like, let's do it. If there's
spinning shot that Graham did in the hallway, it's so
the gimbal shot. Yeah. So like all of that comes with not being too precious necessarily. I think there are different schools of thought that filmmakers have about, I must control every aspect of this because this vision is so clear in my head. But I think it could just be, maybe it's the imposter syndrome talking, but it's like, maybe this person has a better idea. Let's see what they want to do. But like turning the creativity loose on set is the thing that we like the most. I mean, I can't tell you how many lines in multiple films that get some of the best laughs that are Megan Borkus ad libs.
Yeah, she's a great improv actress, and she's funny as hell. And Holland is one of a kind. She just captivates you.
Yes,
the second you see her, she's incredible. Y'all are doing it.
Sean Reimer
Sean is funny as hell.
fantastic. He's funny, but then like, he also just flips it, and he can be terrifying.
Yeah.
He's so great in this film. Kimberly DePersia, also
Temi Thompson.
Temi Thompson. They're both fantastic actresses.
And Mardigan was
who we've
creepy
talked
as hell.
about, lovely.
Mardigan just killing it as that monster. Like he just went for it.
He was so fun.
Yeah. I also want to give a quick shout out. Uriel Laite, he won for production design. And Graham has been nominated several times for cinematography for our stuff. And then Megan Borkus and Holland Watkins have both won for Best Supporting Actress.
Also, Alicia Jaisangani, who she is our composer who we worked with. And when she first sent us over her score for Blood Pub, it gave me goosebumps because I think it's like the most underrated part of that film, to be honest, because that score is something that I didn't know that we like were looking for until we heard it. Cause it's this mix of like classic monster, but there's also some like 80s, like retro synth in there too. And it's this combination that I never really heard of. It just blew me away. And so Alicia, she's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. We should work with great people.
And that's awesome. That's awesome. Again, I want to thank you guys so much. I'm going to put you down backstage there. You're more than welcome to hang out till we finish the show, and we can say goodbye that way. Or if you have to take off, that's fine as well. But it's been an absolute pleasure. I did throw the link, the cosmicwavefilms.com/panic attack, and boom, you can watch it right
Angela,
there.
thank you guys so much for coming on. Keep making your films, keep telling your stories. However we can support you moving forward, let us know. But thank you so much for coming on. We've been looking forward to it.
Thank you guys so much for having us. This has been just a joy. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate both of you and Indie Horror Junkie. And thank you so much for sharing your stories as well.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon. Like I said, you can hang out for a minute if you like. That was awesome. That was everything that I anticipated, that I expected. What a great talk. I've seen Panic Attack, and hey, you guys need to check it out.
We'll
it is
you guys can watch it tonight or save it and add it to your watch list, but you definitely want to check it out and follow these guys on their socials. I'm telling you, you want to keep in touch and see what they're doing, because they're going places. They're making it happen. They've got a great team, a great vision, a work ethic like I've never seen. So I have, full confidence in their future coming up.
Absolutely. Next Wednesday, right here, 8 p.m., we have the owner and founder of Tin Sky Media, actor, director, comic book artist, Austin Janowski.
Yeah.
I hope I nailed it. Awesome.
He does a little bit of everything, and he's good at it all. So I've had a pleasure of working with him on set, and he's a lot of fun. So that'll be something to look forward to next week. Definitely tune in for that.
Awesome. And of course, I want to thank everyone who joined us tonight. Nobody really had many questions, but that's okay. There was a lot of good comments.
A lot of shout outs from the cast from Panic Attack. So
absolutely.
I'm happy they were able to join and check things out, and fun show.
We appreciate you guys. Please go over there, check us all out over there at all the links that you see down there at the bottom. We got tons of them. Facebook, YouTube. If you're not a subscriber over there on our YouTube channel, please over there and get that done.
Check it out.
And thank you guys. I don't know what else to say other than
another show in the books. Do it again next week.
Yeah. We'll see you next Wednesday.